Welcome students. Today in the previous class we actually complete the whole chapter, that is light. Today we are going to discuss about exercise questions, okay, and we solve the questions of exercise of your textbook, okay. So at first, the first question is actually first A section, take the most appropriate answer, okay. So here for this question, actually the first one is light is a form of energy that causes sensation of. Option C is the correct answer, that is sight, okay. And the second one is actually objects that do not allow light to pass through them are called opaque object. It is the definition of actually opaque object, okay. And the third one, that is a shadow shows, okay, a shadow shows only black colors, some part may be gray. So option B is the correct answer. And four, the central dark region of a shadow is called umbra, and whereas actually partial dark region, that is called actually penumbra, okay. Now question number 5. When the moon comes directly between the sun and earth, the eclipse formed is actually solar eclipse. And what is actually lunar eclipse? Actually lunar eclipse when the earth comes between sun and moon. Okay. And a lunar eclipse is question number 6. A lunar eclipse occurs on a full moon day, okay, and solar eclipses occurs on a new moon day. Now we move to our next section, that is fill in the blanks, okay. So section B, the first question is dash objects can produce light of their own. It is actually luminous, okay. So for this case, this is luminous object, okay. And what is non-luminous? Actually non-luminous objects are the objects which do not give any type of light or do not produce any type of light, okay. Now question number 2, the speed of light is about dash in vacuum on air in generally 3 lakh kilometer per second, or we can say anyone suppose say 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. It is also correct, okay. Now the next one is question number 3. Objects that allow light to pass through them partially are known as actually translucent medium, okay. If completely pass, okay, then the material is called transparent material. If partially pass, then it is called translucent object. Now question number 4, that is a very fine path of light is called a ray of light, okay, a ray of light. And question number 5, light travels in dash. Light travels always straight line as long as it is traveling in the same medium. If medium is changed, then light actually bends, okay. Now question number 6, when an opaque object is placed in the path of light, it forms a shadow. So if actually an opaque object is placed in front of or in the path of light, then light gets blocked and we get a shadow. Now question number 7, that is dash object does not cast a shadow. Simply we can say transparent object, because for transparent object ray of light actually can pass through transparent material, so we cannot get any type of shadow, okay. Now we move to our next section, that is section C, true and false, okay. So for this case, the first is most objects around us are non-luminous, okay, it is true. Such type of non-luminous objects are chair, table, okay, book, pen, etc. The second one is actually bioluminescence is found in almost all organism. Okay, it is actually false. Okay, because what is the true statement? Because actually bioluminescence is found in some organism. Okay, like it is generally occurred in actually mostly occurred in sea. Okay, it generally occur in sea. That means actually example is fish, okay, jellyfish, squid, okay, so jellyfish, okay, and sometimes actually squids, even some bacteria actually make bioluminescence. What is actually bioluminescence? Bioluminescence actually some animals and microorganisms are capable to produce light from their own body by chemical reaction. It is called bioluminescence. Okay, so some animals and microorganisms are capable to produce light from their body by chemical reaction, that is called bioluminescence, like jellyfish, squid, some fishes. Okay, it is generally found in sea. Okay, so for all organism we cannot find bioluminescence. That is why actually the statement is actually false. The third one, light cannot bend around an opaque object in its path. Okay, it is also true because it gets blocked. Okay, the fourth one, the pinhole camera works on the principle of rectilinear propagation of light. It is also true. And the next one, 5, the 5 question number 5 is a region of total darkness in a shadow is called the penumbra. It is actually false. The total region of darkness is called umbra, not penumbra. Okay, and the question number 6, a solar eclipse occurs only a full moon day. It is also false. In generally, solar eclipse occurs only a new moon day, and lunar eclipses occurs only on a full moon day. Okay, and question number 7, that is a total lunar eclipse occurs when the moon lies completely in the umbra of the earth's shadow. Okay, it is also true. Actually, when the moon is placed in between, or the position of moon is in between the sun and the earth, and also the moon completely lies completely in the umbra of earth's shadow, then we get a total lunar eclipse. Okay, now we move to our next part, that is question D. Okay, differentiate between the following. So first question is simply luminous and non-luminous object. Okay, this is the first question. Here you have to write down the definition of luminous and non-luminous object. It is already discussed in your previous classes. Okay, in generally objects that can emit light energy by themselves, they are called luminous object, like sun. Okay, and in generally the objects they can that cannot produce or that cannot emit any type of light energy is called non-luminous object, like pen, book, etc. Okay, the second one is transparent and translucent material. It is also discussed in your class. Transparent means actually the material that can actually the light can easily pass through the material, that can actually called transparent material. That means glass. Okay, clear glass, water, air, etc. And for translucent material, actually some part of energy, light energy, is passed through translucent material, like frosted glass, some plastic, etc. Now we move our question number 3, difference between convergent and divergent beam. Here we can see convergent beams means actually ray of light converge to a point. Okay, and divergent beams means ray of light diverge from each other. Okay, like if we draw here, simply we can find actually for convergent beam, this is the convergent beam. These are the, for this case, actually different types of ray of light converges to a point. And for divergent beam, actually suppose we take a source, this is the source of light, then from this case we get actually diverge light. Okay, this type of divergence we can get. And now we move to our next point. It is also second point, that for convergent rays, the rays concentrate to a particular point, and for divergent, actually the rays emerging from a point source. Okay. Now the next one, that is question number 4. Okay. So question number 4 is actually how, sorry, question number 4, umbra and penumbra. Okay, already we discussed. Okay, umbra is the region, or umbra is the part of shadow where all the light from the source is totally blocked. Okay, and for penumbra region we get actually uh, we get a region around the umbra, okay, where shadow is only partial, okay, or imperfect. Okay, in generally like this, if we draw this region, this is very dark. Okay, we can take as umbra region, and also around umbra we get a penumbra region. If we draw a shadow like this is your umbra, and this is actually penumbra. Okay, now we move our next topic, that is point source of light and extended source of light. Here we can at first actually discuss extended source of light. Okay, so extended source of light means actually it is the source that forms umbra as well as penumbra region. Okay, so for extended source of light we get both. Okay, umbra as well as penumbra region also, okay, on the screen of the shadowed object, like sun is an extended source of light. Okay, and what is point source of light? It is the source of light that forms only umbra region, okay, on the screen. Like example is a pinhole, okay, through which sunlight is entering, is a point source of light. Now we move to our next, the last one, differentiate between the following: solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Also, it is discussed for solar eclipse. Actually, the position of moon is in between Earth and Sun. Okay, and for lunar eclipses, actually the position of, sorry, actually for lunar eclipses, actually the position of moon is in between sun and earth. And for solar eclipses, actually the position of, actually for earth. Okay, for solar eclipses the position of moon in between sun and earth, and for lunar eclipses the position of earth in between moon and sun. Okay, and we move to our next section, that is section E. Answer the following in short. Okay, so here the first question is, here we take the first one, that is how do you see non-luminous object. Okay, in generally for non-luminous object, actually some light incident on a non-luminous object, and they gets, actually non-luminous objects reflect the light falling on them, and the reflected rays are sensed by our eye. Okay, and we are able to see non-luminous object. Okay, this is the first one. The second one, define rectilinear propagation of light. Okay, it is also discussed in your class. Okay, rectilinear propagation means light always travels in a straight line. Okay, so this is the rectilinear propagation of light. On the basis of rectilinear propagation of light, we get actually an example, that is pinhole camera. Okay, and also we get shadow. Okay, now the next one is actually the question number 3, that is state the nature of image formed by a pinhole camera. It is also discussed. Okay, the image formed by a pinhole camera is generally real and inverted, and the nature of the size does not depend on the shape of the pinhole. Okay, actually it depends on the position of the object from pinhole and also the distance between pinhole and the screen. Okay, so in generally image nature is real and inverted. Okay, we cannot actually define the size. Now the next one is question number 4. How is it possible to increase the size of an image formed by a pinhole camera? Okay, in generally, how we can increase if the distance between pinhole and screen is increased. Okay, if the distance between pinhole and screen is increased, then simply image size increases, and also image, however, will be get less bright. Okay, if size of image is increased, then the brightness actually becomes less. Okay, and the light spread over a large area. So in this way we get actually larger image, okay, by pinhole camera. Now we move our next one, that is question number 5. Okay, how is a shadow formed? Okay, so actually the working principle of shadow is also rectilinear propagation of light. So in generally shadow are formed because light travels in a straight line. Okay, when actually when an opaque object is placed in the path of ray of light, then light gets blocked and uh, we get a shadow of an opaque material. Okay, because opaque material does not let the light pass through it. Okay, so the light rays that go past the edge of the material make the outline of the shadow, and the complete area, okay, um, in which actually light gets blocked, we get the shadow of this region particularly. Now we move our next one, question number 6, that is list any two characteristics of a shadow. Okay, here actually in this case I take 4. You only write down if in your question the question is coming, if question is coming this question, then you just write two characteristics. Okay, so the characteristics is actually it is always either large or same size as the object. Okay, and the second one is actually it is always black in color. Sometimes actually we get actually less bright. Okay, and the third one is its position changes depending upon the position of source of light, and also it needs a screen to be formed for shadow. Okay, and the question number 7, actually what do you understand by a total lunar eclipses? Okay, so this is the question. For total lunar eclipses, actually the moon is completely immersed in the umbra region of earth's shadow. Okay, and just position of earth is in between moon and sun, and the moon is completely immersed in the umbra of the earth shadow. Okay, now we move our next part, that is F. Answer the following in details. So first question, actually with the help of an experiment show that light travels in a straight line. Actually this type of question is not coming. Okay, experimental type. So just you we move to our next one, that is question number 2. Describe the working of a pinhole camera. Already it is discussed in your class. Okay, in generally in generally actually we can say for a pinhole camera it is a very simple camera without any lens. Okay, just with a single simple hole. Okay, and in generally light travels in a straight line, that is called rectilinear propagation of light. Okay, light from a scene passes through a single hole and project an inverted image, okay, opposite side of the box, and also it is inverted image. And for this case actually image become inverted. That means actually top of the object uh, actually becomes bottom of the image. And also smaller the hole the sharper the image. Okay, if size of the hole is bigger, then we get less bright image. Okay, and in generally a human eye, okay, is similar to a pinhole camera, we can say. And in generally we take pinhole camera to see different types of images, okay, like trees, buildings, okay, any type of doll, etc. Okay, and now we move to our question number 3, that is how we can changes the size of shadow with distance and object on screen. Okay, it is also discussed here. We can say that the closure of an object is to light source, okay, then we get the larger shadow. Okay, so if the distance between source and object is very less or very close, then we get larger area and we get larger shadow. This is because of an object closer to the source will block a larger area of light. Okay, and this also increases the size of shadow. Now, actually, question number 4, that is state the characteristics of the shadow formed by an extended source of light. Okay, it is also discussed in your textbook. So here you have to uh, actually solve, or you have to write the characteristics. Okay, with the help of your book. Okay, and for this case, okay, we actually move to our next one, that is what is a solar eclipse, question number 5, and how many types of solar eclipses can be formed. Okay, in this question, the answer of this question also is in your book, and already I discussed the definition of solar eclipses, so you just have to write the definition of solar eclipses and how many types of solar eclipses. Actually, in your textbook, there are several solar eclipses, like actually first one is total solar eclipses and the second one is partial solar eclipses. So you have to write down these two. Okay, and an annular solar eclipses is a special type of solar eclipses. Okay, so just you have to write down types, means actually total and partial solar eclipses. Okay, and question number G, that is actually draw diagrams of the following. Okay, simply we can say here the first drawing, that is actually convergent beam of light. This one is actually convergent beam of light, beam of light. Okay, actually if we take an convex lens, okay, and light is coming from infinite distance, then we get after refraction this type of ray. Okay, that means actually convex lens means this type of lens. Okay, and if parallel ray of light is incident on convex lens, then actually after refraction, okay, we get convergent beam. Okay, and they converges to a particular point. This type of ray. And the second one, actually for this case, second one means actually a shadow formed by an extended source of light when the object is larger than the source. So this is actually in your book also. Okay, and this question actually, the question is actually shadow formed by an extended source of light when object is larger than source. So here actually this question already you get question number 2G. This question is in your textbook, page number 74. Okay, page number 74, you will get the answer. Okay, the drawing of the image. And the third one, that is a partial lunar eclipses. Okay, so this is the image of partial lunar eclipses. Third question, this is partial lunar eclipses. Okay, so this is the end of today's class. Okay, I hope all of you understand the whole questions. Okay, all type of questions. Okay, and also remember, in your final exam actually long type question. Okay, that means actually long type question is coming, and also some short question is coming. So now you have to actually prepare to solve long type question. Okay, so in your worksheet actually I am giving some long type question. You have to just type the answer of the question. Okay, and some questions is also MCQ type also. Okay, so this is the end of today's class. In the next class we discuss about our next chapter and the last chapter, that is magnetism. Okay.